there, Virgo, and welcome to your modern shaman, Maria and RainbowLand, here with the weekly astrological forecast for the week that starts. Not only astrological, intuitive and heartful forecast for the week that starts at the 12th and ends at the 19th of November 2018. Here I am in Denmark, close to a lake and a forest that you cannot see, but you can see it in section 2, where I'm taking the drone around the area. So we have the fire. Yeah, being light workers, we have light there. So we start this week off with the astrology card of the week that will take us into the chart of the week, where we will see what's going on this week. And for the ones that aren't that interested in the stars and these aspects, it's fine, because I'm gonna talk in a way where you can get just as much out of it if you just ignore when I mention the stars. So tarot card of the week, we will end this first Virgo section of the report with. Of course, we have a main character this week, this being your planet going into retrograde. Welcome to this week. So the card of the week for the Virgos, the astrology card that we will move into the weekly report with is, oh, half of them are reversed, I can see. So it's a question of which way I will turn them. Whoops, this card came out. So there was a card that dropped out. Oops, the same card. You are not the only one getting this card. It's Black Moon Lilith, the bitch goddess, who has the role of the feminine side of all of us, men and women, who has been suppressed during the patriarchal society, where it wasn't okay and allowed to have feelings to show them, follow intuition, spirituality and stuff like that. She's very rebellious. She just wants to break free and break out of it. So she here is actually in your 6th house, where she wants to break out of something, where she, in the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, right? So it's your natural house. And she's here rebelling against anyone who didn't allow you. Can you hear that animal? Which animal was that? Can you hear? That? Oh, well, if you know what it is, then you know we all have in the Indian, the old traditional, not aboriginals, well, also, but of the Americas. So if you saw an animal on your way, or an animal came to you to show itself to you, I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. These are 2 last reports are Virgo this week. I'm shifting a little bit of between who gets the last reports. So this is report number 23 out of 24. On a whole day after an operation 3 days ago, so I'm a little tired. I'm sorry for that. But in these traditions, the animal that showed up all had a signification and a meaning. It cannot be a deer, because no. Well, anyways, if you know which animal it was, it's a sign for you. So, because we all have to notice the signs. And Black Moon Lilith, we're talking about the feminine side of us, notice the signs, are in a flow and synchronistical time instead of linear time. The matriarchal paradigm, which is coming up, is all about the synchronistic time instead of the linear time of the patriarchal. So the signs is what we notice, and we move forward through following the signs and following, of course, our intuition and our heart and our gut feelings more than our reason. And Black Moon Lilith is rebelling here. She is making a revolution for you in your 6th house of your daily routines and how you think and organize yourself. And also, of course, how you eat, how you work, how you exercise, and what energies you surround yourself with. Are they healthy? And she wants to say, well, I'm only healthy here if there's room for me in my daily life. And she's in Aquarius in your 6th house. So, well, interesting. Make room for that side of you in your daily life is the message. Let's look at the chart and the fire. So Mercury is moving retrograde. Well, where is Mercury? Well, Mercury is in your 4th house of Sagittarius this week. And he's moving backwards. He's going over something. He forgot something. That's why he's moving backwards. He's going in there to get it. In which house? In your 4th house, where we are dealing with your foundation, your personal feelings and emotions, and you wanting to travel and move around, do something, expand your mind, explore the world in new ways, because Mercury is trying to find and guide you towards a new light. Not a new light, actually, rather than towards your purpose, your inner guru, your higher self, reflected in the outside world. You will meet up with Jupiter, not this week, but later on. Mercury retrograde is introspection, especially for the Geminis and the Virgos, who are ruled by Mercury. And I'm sorry. And this means that actually I can only advise you to back up your hard disks, computers, telephones, whatever you need to back up in good time before Saturday the 17th, when he moves retrograde. He is moving retrograde until the 7th of December. So it's a good idea if you do these things, and also have patience and tolerance with people. They might respond you slower, and maybe there's more confusion also in the thought processes during this process, because we need to be more introverted. And if you have a train to catch, airplane to go to, somewhere you need to be during these 3 weeks, leave in good time, because often we have delays during these times because other people are also introverted, so things happen. Also with the electronical devices. So have patience and don't be surprised if stuff like this happens. Okay, so this week we start out with the moon in your sister sign of Capricorn, here according Pluto, the planet of transformation in your romantic life or the life of your children, or if you have your own career. I'm sorry again. If you have your own career or creative projects that you have going on, new structures are being made, you're being transformed. You have to find a new way to follow your heart in your life. And it's been going on for a while. You have really been altering on this level in regards to these relationships with your children, or yes, these things that I just mentioned, especially following your heart. Then the moon moves into Aquarius, as I said before. And this has something to do with, I said your 6th house. Sorry, I just had something with my leg. In Aquarius, again, your daily routines, work situations on a daily level. Mars is then changing signs on Thursday, while Venus is moving forward in your 3rd house. No, in your 2nd house, Venus is moving forward on Thursday, and the moon and Mars is entering Pisces then. And this is in your 7th house of relationships. Look how much we have over here in your 7th house. Relationships to others is on the table. This means that a lot of people will be coming in and out of your life. And you will have Mars here. This means that you can meet up with some Mars type of people, like aggressive or just like wanting to move fast and in another tempo than you. Then maybe you can be a little stressed out by that. Also, you have the wounded healer, Chiron, here. So the wounds that you're dealing with for the last time, maybe in your lifetime, depending on how old you are, because this is the last period that Chiron is here, dealing with where you felt rejection from others. And the moon passing here Friday, Saturday, well, it can be about you wanting to escape reality. We have the square over here to Jupiter also during this phase, this process. And the square to Mercury retrograde. In your 4th house, this can be you wanting to escape, just wanting to be at home in your own little shell, or with other people, wanting to escape through however you escape. Some people, I know one who would just escape into books. Others could do it into drugs, alcohol, food, movies, where it's just like out of contact. But here, we are being asked this week to really take responsibility, purpose in life, not to just jump where the fence is lowest, but actually choose the right path for us. It's a huge transition with Jupiter now at home, Saturn at home, and Neptune at home. All of these at home is the last time in our lives. This is definitely the last time in our lives that we have this opportunity to ascend this much spiritually. So this is a time to do what we came here to do. What do you come here for? As a soul on a higher level, what did you come here on this planet to do? What is your purpose? The time is now. Time is up, the word is out, it is a private notion. Wake up, smell the air, it's universal motion. I remember I wrote that song when I was very young. Yeah, I think it was one of the first songs I wrote. But already then in contact with this, I'm a light worker and that's why I'm here. And if you're here on the channel, you're a light worker too. What does a light worker do? Well, light is information, it's knowledge, is wisdom. Darkness is ignorance also. So we are here to lift our own level. Get out of the ignorant dark zone and into the zone where we are aware and we make aware conscious choices for ourselves that are healthy for ourselves. These aspects, the tendencies of escapism also relates to the fact that we have the subconscious layers of us activated. So subconscious old patterns from our parents, from their parents, from your life karmically even, may come up. We have Uranus over there in your 8th house with deep transformation and karmic stuff he can open up to. And we have actually a grand cross between the North Node in your 11th house, social house, Uranus in your 8th house of deep transformation of old karmic stuff. The South Node up here, and also a little bit Pluto, but the South Node up here in Capricorn, being your 5th house, children, creative projects, following your heart, romantic partners, and Venus over here in Libra, your 2nd house of resources, finances, self-worth, habits, and stability, where she's moving forward on Thursday as well after 40 days in retrograde. This means also that you will have a new perspective on your financial situation and how you view yourself, self-worth, and your habits. Values in general also. What are your values? There'll be a tension between these things that I just mentioned. 11th, 5th, social houses on a close level and on a friendship level. A tension between your 8th and your 2nd house. Personal resources, shared resources. Personal, very deep very deep connections to others also, and boundaries, healthy boundaries and stuff. There'll be attention, but attention is also always an opportunity for growth. So let's see what that can bring along for you. The moon will end up in your 8th house on Sunday. Being in your relationship sector Friday and Saturday will definitely create a possibility of a social weekend for you. Try not to escape, but choose the wiser path. So many doors are opening with this Jupiter constellation in your 4th house. Your personal feelings, intuition, and home sphere, foundation. And in the square and stuff like that. I mean, Jupiter's always multiple choices, but there's only one right choice for you. You know what I'm going to say at the end of the report anyways, every time, about what you need to follow. So if you don't know yet how to hear it when it's speaking well, you still need to clear your mind some, because us with that have something. I mean, I have the moon, the North Node, and Saturn in Virgo. I have the Sun in the 6th house, so ruled by Virgo. So the mental level we can be upon sometimes is too much, and if you can't hear your heart, it's because you're too mental and you don't clear it out every day. As we take a shower, we need to take a mental shower through meditation, cleaning, getting into the body. I will put up an exercise for just a short 5 minutes where you get into the body out of the head. You can use every night before going to sleep. Card of the week, tarot card of the week for the Virgos. Oh, it's in this end, definitely. This one. Whoops. The Fool. Also you. You're not the only one in the zodiac getting this card. It's about you daring to fearlessly and only expecting the positive in your life to happen, following your dreams, expecting others to come from, always from love, in the most naive sense you can imagine. You start a new life. Because what we focus upon grows. So if you focus upon that everything is possible, it can be, definitely. Don Quixote de la Mancha is one of the most famous Spanish huge masterpieces ever written. And he was a fool, in quotation marks, because he considered the world to not be dangerous, but only kind and friendly. And that's mostly what he got. Of course, there's a risk. But when you only are the ones that takes risks has the greatest gains. Don't follow trend. Let me find the heart. Just a second. Follow your heart. See you next week, Virgos. Thanks for watching. Or see you in the second part of the program that starts. Now we're going into a beautiful landscape. See you. Hi there, and welcome to the second half of this program. I will now describe which topics we will touch here as light workers on each of our individual and collective spiritual mission on this planet. So in this section, we will first talk about going from 3D to 5D, 3 dimensions to 5 dimensions, dimensional sphere. Topic 2, and these will be shortly touched. 3D time is sequential time, whereas 5D time is synchronic time. What is that? 3, section 3. When do we download and upgrade as light workers? And how? Energetically, and how do we feel the symptoms physically? 4. We need to learn to become our own masters. Lesson of Scorpio, which started in 2012, especially. Now we're taking the more ultimative tests. 5, section 5 is one of my favorites. The communication form of the future, telepathy. Section 6, cleaning. Not just of ourselves, but of everything. Part 7, awakening. What happens to those who do awaken and those who don't? Section 8, about choosing a certain life path or lifestyle and the consequences, responsibility of it. When self-created issues are there, only you can change them. Part 9, the 12th house collectively. Mars is entering into Pisces. What does it mean? Section 10 is the relaxation technique, where I'm guiding a relaxation that I did just after my silent retreat in a certain condition that you can get transferred to you as I do the relaxation. It's in the link below, so follow the link right after the links to the different star signs and be directly guided to this place in this video where I make a 5-minute relaxation in the condition I had right after my retreat. Welcome to section 2. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for all the responses on my silent retreat video of how you felt that these messages and downloads that I got actually were so appropriate for your life just right now, like answers for you guys. Like one of my very best friends also told me that, whoa, it was like as if I was talking directly to her. But not only her, several people came back to me and felt like they were even being charged by the same energy and upgrading through the energy of that video. I just want to say thank you for that. So, let's start. I want to start with point number 0 about the 11th of the 11th and twin flames. It was not in the teaser, but it's here as part number 0. Yesterday, today it's Monday. Yesterday, Sunday, was the 11th of the 11th, and at 11 o'clock in France, they celebrated that it was 100 years ago since Armistice Day, since the truce for the First World War. But it was also a gate opener for twin flames, soulmates, and conscious relationships to take a step up, to ascend, and to have the chance to walk through certain gates and portals and opening up towards critical things, crisis, that is actually the possibility of being healed, of course. So what is a twin flame? Well, a twin flame is when the masculine and the feminine part of a soul incarnates at the same time. I am with my twin flame now. Not now, because we are in our phase of separation, which is a classical phase in this, but that's a long story. I'll make videos about that too. But when the masculine and the feminine part of the soul, when we incarnate, the first time we incarnate, the soul splits into two. Some souls chose to incarnate simultaneously in this life. So it's when the masculine and the feminine part of a soul incarnates at the same time. And people will be like, oh, isn't this the most romantic? No, not necessarily. Yes, there is the honeymoon phase. But the second part is the separation, where you mirror each other completely. You serve as each other's mirrors for all the flaws and all the karma of your parents and yourself. You get it like a mirror when you see your twin. So it's a really, really tough soul work. Of course, there's a connection you can't have with anyone else, of really coming home. But at the same time, it's hard spiritual work, and we do this. Many twins do this, incarnate simultaneously in this life due to the need for extra light work in these huge transitional times on this planet. Here I'm referring to the grand constellations in 2020. I will talk more about it more and more in these programs. The 11th of the 11th is a gate where the twin flames and the soulmates had gates opening up for them to alter their level of consciousness through their relationships towards 5-dimensional. So when do we come to going from 3D to 5D? What is 3D? What is 5D? 3D is the reality that we know. We are in 3 dimensions. We can see and feel and touch things, and we knock upon a surface, a table. Oh, it's a firm table. We have this here and there, and you can categorize everything in boxes in our thoughts, and it's narrow. It's limited because everything here is scientific material and only what can be proven and certified by a certain number of people is validated. And it's also, when it's own, so that is okay. That is the bottom line, and it's a certain vibration as well. The 5-dimensional sphere is different. The 5-dimensional sphere is when we open up towards our higher selves. And we do no longer follow just the logical, rational path, but we receive information and we are in the flow, and we expand our mind to a level where it's no longer our own thoughts, but we connect with something bigger. This is another program for itself, where I'll go deeper into it. In this program, we will go into, as I said, what is the time frame for the 3 dimensions, and what is the time frame for the 5 dimensions? As I said, the 3D time is sequential time. We have tomorrow and we had yesterday. It's linear. And everything has to fit into these boxes. At 9 o'clock, you do this. And that is when we do that. And everything is organized. And by that, you're shutting down towards 5D. Because you're shutting out the flow. Because in synchronic time, which is 5D, you're in the flow. So you receive information of where to go next smoothly in a nice vibration, where you ask for something, you pick to open up towards your higher self and where you need to go in this life. And you only do that by dedication and will and wanting this 100%, because you need to do it in all that you do. Even though we have to be in 3D time still, because the planet hasn't altered completely yet. Of course, we have our work and our different things we need to do, but we can go in and out of the 3 and 5 dimensions. Like when I pick information for my personal clients, I even upgraded so much now that I can actually see their higher selves more and more. Like they speak to me, show themselves in different ages, depending on what they want to show, and then I almost can enter their body and feel where they are and what they feel. That is 5D, because we're out of this frame where everything is solid and only one way, and only if you can experience it too and 100 other people, then it's real. Because we narrow our mind there. In synchronistic time, we choose and pick. Okay, I'm going for it. I'm going for this call that I have. I'm going down this timeline, or I'm picking this timeline. Once you do that, the universe will conspire to lead you in the right direction, but since other people might be involved, you need tolerance and patience, and then you need to not be fixated upon the will, the ego, wanting it to be at that specific time, because then you might miss the train, or the signals, or the signs, because they are subtle, and you need to learn to know them more and more, because in synchronistic time, then suddenly the right people turn out the right places at the right time, and miracles can happen here. It's more narrow, limited in 3D. More about that later on. I will come more and more into this, because on the planet right now, a lot is going on. As I said before, Section 3 is about when do we download and upgrade, like as light workers. Like what are the symptoms upon when we upgrade and get new downloads? Like, for example, for your spiritual ascension level, we are upgrading quite a lot right now because of the ascension level that we need before 2020, as much as possible. Now is the time to get it. It's going to be harder afterwards. So the people who are the forerunners and the ones, the light workers that are leading the first wave, we upgrade a lot. And then the second wave was that take also a very great load, getting more and more people to ascend. They also have this more than you think. So the signs of that you're upgrading, it could be like a loud tone in your ear, a ringing of your ears, between your head, like suddenly, or oh no, I can't say. I don't know how to say the sound, but sometimes like a very small sound for your one ear, the other ear, and then the tone shifts. It's because the energies are working upon you, and it's a good idea to lay down and relax in this case. Over the 20 years I've had these things like loudly, I realized it's better to sit down, for example, just to relax and receive. Then it's even more effective. And you feel, or just the number 2, just like, you just suddenly wanting to lie down. Number 3, like dizziness, sometimes like for a couple of minutes, sometimes for days, maybe even. The symptoms can also be like nausea, depending on how big a download you're getting. And by the way, there's like higher realm holistics. She's very much into these things as well. So if you want to go deeper, she's a good one to follow. And then we have, she's in here on YouTube as well. Like some of the things that I get a lot, and that's been my thing, and people who knows me probably tried, where I see these power glimpses, and suddenly I get that, like how can I describe them? Like if you have light, the whole light of a huge light, but put into one single little dot. So intense the light. It's from another world-ish. Like these power glimpses, like suddenly. Also when I sit with clients, sometimes I see it just over their shoulder, or to the left or right of their head, or I see the power glimpse, and I see, okay, they're getting upgraded, and it's a sign of that. And also sometimes it's a sign of that we're in contact talking with the higher self, but it's often an upgrade. It can also be like like the flimmering on the television screen when it's like black and white, like I don't know if they do it anymore, but just like energy moving in front of you, like when before you sleep and you see the movement. Of course, all of these symptoms can also just be symptoms of your body being tired and other things, but you ask your higher self, is it or is it not? Like, what is it? Should I lie down? I mean, anyways, whether it's a body or it is upgrading, you should lie down when your body tells you to, if you can. I mean, it's not always possible, so... But also it depends on, that like we're upgrading the whole matrix of the level of svingningsniveauet in Danish. The frequencies in like this spiral we are in energy-wise, and it can also be like in the third eye, the Kundalini rising, like or in the the third eye. Between your eyes and a little up, when there's upgrades here, you can get like a headache while it's happening, and sometimes it's like you can see geometric figures like the Merkaba pyramids. You can look that up, Merkaba pyramid. I will see if I have time to make a video about that. Sign number 6, like intense tiredness can come in these phases. Like you're like, why am I even tired? And then, then you know why. And then it can, like, also because we're having Uranus in the Aries, and it's, Uranus is always driving different upgrades, and now it's going on our identity again for the last time, and the body a lot here in Aries. We will feel that through that Uranus energy. He's a good upgrader from 3D to 5D. And remember, like around new moons, also we also deals with extra tiredness very often. 7, sign number 7. Sometimes when we lose words and can't find the words, and we are like in this kind of Pisces condition where God, the universe, meditational states are the important, and you feel tired. No, you don't feel tired, but you feel like blurry in the head, so words aren't so important because you're downloading. It can also be like that you're feeling hungry, or that you feel like you're starving. So also when we need to learn to become our own masters, and not all the time mirror ourselves only in other people or in the God, or in if we have a master or something. We have to integrate this in ourselves, and this is also what's a part of the Scorpio energy, because you learn to master here. This is really where we learn to master, and we go from darkness into light, and we're mastering ourselves. We're mastering all the sides of ourselves, and not only just trying to blame it on other people, but you also take responsibility in this to master the processes. So also because we are in this period, which is the other section that I mentioned, a very important one, where we are preparing ourselves on the communication form of the future, telepathy. That will be the future communication form. It is already now. Back to the future. We are in the future. We already use it. We're just not aware of it. We send each other thoughts all the time. We seriously do. We send each other thoughts all the time. We just don't realize it. So we just we think that it's our own thoughts or something, but often it's other people thinking about us. That's why the thoughts are so important, because we really affect others, So be aware of what you're thinking and what you're sending out, because it's energy and the vibrations are reaching others. So it's also because of that the telepathy will be the communication form. There's a need to. These openings are needed to be made to get a telepathic contact. But telepathy are like wordless words sometimes. Like when I get telepathic messages, just also from the other realms or dimensions, it's like I get into a state, a condition, and I look for words or images that are resembling with the information that I get. Like the information that I get can be very short and tense. No, and what do you call it when it's compact? And then I have to unfold the information because it's in a small handful of a state I just get, and there's a lot of words to describe it. And this is the same with telepathy. So we are these times with Uranus here. We are breaking down, upgrading, breaking down, upgrading, like breakdowns, breakthroughs for all with Uranus in Aries, and it's about your identity. And of course, I repeat stuff sometimes. It's because it's very good to be reminded about things you know already, to remember to integrate it, because we are light workers here. We are here to help the earth move in the right direction. We have a purpose here, right? So that's why you're on this channel, as I always say. Otherwise, you wouldn't have not reached this minute of the show. There's a reason. We're always guided towards the right things for us. And when you have raised your energy level, because we have to work upon it, we have to wash our energy every day through meditation or cleaning. Just like we clean our bodies, we need to clear ourselves mentally and energetically to keep the open heart, because in 5D we have the open heart. And when you have raised your energy level through working upon it, through eating healthy, through choosing the right relationships for yourself, through all these choices you make to clear yourself, it's really important not to drop again, but keep it. But it takes will and dedication. So if you want to go up in 5D and others around you are stuck or keeping you down, Venus retrograde, which is the last week in retrograde, then she's moving forward, so she's still in her phase, but can help you cut the cords to these energies. And to clean on relationships, we have to clean ourselves, but not just ourselves, but also people, but also our homes and our communication, our means of communication and everything around us. And send the earth and your loved ones. You can send the earth and your loved ones like protective energies through love, also telepathically, and know that you're always protected against anything dark or low. And dark, you have to remember that darkness is ignorance and light is wisdom. So don't be so afraid of darkness if you are in the light. Only thing that can bring you down and vulnerable is if you fear it. But if you know and you ask for protection, you just ask for protection and then you create it for yourself and your family through love. But with Venus retrograde, we're releasing all these kind of things right now, and that can't go with you. They have to be released, or otherwise you can't ascend. And we have this awakening tipping point that seems to be reached now, actually. And we'll have its effect in 2020, but we are more and more than we used to be. We are more than we used to be and think that we are. And more of the youngsters have brighter minds growing up now, showing the way. Even though also the whole time is weird with all this internet and escapism and pornography and 3D substances, always wanting to look young, always wanting to, being caught in the middle, because 3D is also the rat that has to run in its wheel, because you have to look young and you have to be rich and have to be successful. That is the manipulation of the 3D realm. Then you're kept like a rat in a wheel, because then you're just striving for that and then you're forgetting everything else. You're easily controlled. Right, so it's about stopping that illusion. But if you are awakened, you are on your way to ascension. But you have to know that heavy metals, chemtrails, porn, drugs, alcohol, fear, fluorides, which are acting like heavy metal in the human body, microwaves, radio waves, sensational cravings for sensation through the news and the media, and addiction for stimulation, all keep us down and in zombie states where we don't wake up in the 3D. And what we use, we vote for. What we buy, we vote for. So if we want to raise and alter consciousness, you also have to make conscious choices. Like when I'm out in the countryside without the waves, I so clearly see, and my heart is like really open. I'm in 5D, and I communicate like almost now like my level is so raised because I did the hard work. Got a lot of help from people around me. Like for example, my partner, my beautiful partner, he shows me the way through showing me my shadow sides that I need to clear, and the more shadow sides I need to clear, the easier it gets to see clearly and to feel the intuition. That's what a conscious relationship, like twin flame soulmates, or just conscious relationships are. That's when you realize that what they're telling you is true. There is something about that you are this and that. Of course, if your partner is always saying, "Oh, you keep nagging," or "You keep meh," maybe you should choose another way to say things. Instead of saying, "Oh, I always have a complaining partner," and then you can keep complaining about each other. But then find a sweet and nice way to say what it is that you have to say, so they say it with an open heart, so they can keep an open heart and mind when you say it. Right? But in the city, it's harder, of course, with all the waves and the lower energies sometimes to get raised. So if you can get into the countryside, sometimes being nature or being forums where people only meditate, because we create energy through what we do, the actions we do in a certain area. So if someone has always been meditating for 50 or 45 years, then of course that's the energy level there is very clear. And let your heart guide you towards places where the energy is right for you, is what I mean to say. We need to detoxify, not only mentally, but also the heavy metals in the body. And you can do that with ceolite, for example, like volcanic minerals or detox. There are so many ways. Ask me in a comment and I will help you. And I also had some people telling me like, "Whoa, what's going on with the five? With me suddenly really hearing my ancestors, talking with them, feeling them in my body, opening up, so that the level of communication was like scary in a way, because how to handle this." How to handle all of that? Well, it's again a part of the ascension process. I promised to say something about this, and the two people who asked about it know who they are. And of course, you have to know that what I've just been talking about now is this ascension from 3D to 5D. Is these walls breaking down? It's very natural. Because the time is not linear in 5D, so you can travel in time. That's why a dead parent or others can get in contact with you. It's not that wild. It's just wild because we closed down towards it and made horror movies about it. It's beautiful. I have my mom close by often. Not only my mom, I'm like even my partner's mom. I can, yeah. So. Well, okay, so the Venus retrograde ends and we have a new direction. So a new vision upon how to handle relationships now. And by the way, I want to thank you guys for the support from my hospital. Also from the Spanish viewers, because there were so many kind people who asked, "Oh, how did it go? We want to pray for you." And I just want to say I had the most amazing operation in my knee. The whole hospital... Well, also due to my partner, myself and my father. My partner sat in Tokyo, my father was with me, and we just opened up the channel and asked for the grace of the master, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to float through us. And so many people blessed and wished me luck, and that the whole hospital was charged with love and positive energy. So everyone I met was like just such a joyful experience to be at the hospital. No fear at all, and people coming in and out. Also after my retreat, people came in and out of my life, like giving me like as if I was just being used to give answers to people without even knowing that. Bam, another one coming in, and it was like that at the hospital as well. Like the other patients around me, or what is it called, hospitalized people, they also seem to have a purpose of being able to give me something, also just love and appreciation, and me giving them something back. So it was just like so beautiful, actually. So you can have a beautiful experience if you code yourself and program the situation and your heart to be open in a certain way. But also thanks to the one that helped me like that. But again, next section, and I will be done within 5 minutes. You are the creator and the co-creator of your life. So whatever is there is created by you, and thereby your responsibility to fix. So victim roles won't serve you. It's self-created. Your intuition, higher self, heart, guides, and probably also your body told you many times not to do certain things. Yet you end up doing them subconsciously or even conscious, these conscious patterns. But these are times to choose. What do you want? And know that your choice has a sub-choice that follows along. If you choose to want to work and earn a lot of money and work 80 hours a week, yeah, well, you're not going to have that romantic partner life, and you will not have that much time with your children. So your choices have causes and effect. And when self-created issues are there, only you can change it and help yourself. And this is because of the chosen lifestyle, life route or routine you have. You've chosen to have this job, partner, focus, hobby, escapism, etc. So now you have to, of course, pay the price of what you chose. But there is, as always, a second chance, no matter how old you are, unless you're focused upon, you can only change your life when you're 25. Yes, but we can change our ways. We can change the glasses we wear and our perspective. Well, so the illusion is down. So it's a job for us light workers now to take down the curtains. And the people in power and the darker forces need us to stay in the illusions. But what can we do as light workers to help this transition? Stand in your truth is the most important thing. A lighthouse stands alone and just turns. So we are often placed as light workers in places of darkness, which is why we can feel lonely sometimes. And now with Mars in Pisces, which is also like hospitals and mental institutions and meditative states in churches, and you being alone with yourself, prisons even, when Mars is in Pisces, we tend to feel less motivated to go after traditional goals, and we are more motivated to pursue spiritual or emotional drives during this cycle. And we dislike confrontation during this period. So our output is very variable rather than more straightforward, and our energy is similarly up and down, because Pisces are this way, that way, etc. But we may put others' needs ahead of our own, because normally Mars is selfish. And here our more idealistic sides come to the forefront. So during this cycle, going after what we want becomes less straightforward and more complicated. And as I said also in the report, escapism at high levels are coming in, but not to make this too long. I mean, if you feel lost and you're working with yourself on heavy stuff emotionally, then choices that means that you're staying alone for a while means that you actually are doing your light work, and that will eventually lead you to where you want to go, to love. Because this is self-love, and you create this love and attract it. Always work upon that self-love first. And you do that by following your call, your purpose, and we don't want to miss this train or get late to the train, your train. It's now, the time is now. Then you will feel lost. So take responsibility now and charge over your ego to take the charge. Use it for what you came here for now. So once in a lifetime opportunity to help moving forward in each our way. And we spread the light through information, through standing in our truths. And it's the last time in our lives we have these big heavy boys where we have them here in their home signs. So, but learn to understand your desires and your will, and how you operate is a really important part of these things in Sagittarius, where we also have, even the star in Taurus, a huge one, and we have things, of course, here that we want and we have desires to get, but we have to use it for something like sensible, something that's in concordance, or what you call it, in tune with our call. And it's also, of course, a special time because there aren't any middle ground. It's a really, really clear choice between light or darkness, right? So you can choose the highest degree ever of awareness, the ultimate degree. But do you want to do it? You have to change your ways in all that you do every day. And in meditation we go from 3D to 5D. Is to say that we are shifting from thinking into feeling, and from the mind and its complexities and impurities to the heart with one simple message. Like, do you want it complex or simple? Do you want it wise or ignorant? That's the question. So let's go to the meditation now. I will make not a meditation first. I will just go into this where I was, the energy where I was when I was in the silent retreat, the gift that I got, the upgrade that I got. I will put in that video. It's 7 minutes long, and I feel so much transmission going through me in this energy, in this video, that so many people have told me that they can now sleep after they hear it. People who had trouble sleeping, and they can now meditate. People who had trouble with their thoughts. So try to use this meditation. I will also make a link so that I'll try to make a video, upload a video so that you can always hear it at night before going to sleep or before meditating if you want to. But for now, it's by following the link. You can go directly to it if you ever enter this video, or you can just hear it now because it's coming now. And after this relaxation part where we just go into the body, we will then meditate. If you want to get out of your head and into your heart, start getting into your body. Start relaxing your body. Then it's easier for you to meditate. So in Heartfulness, we start with a relaxation where we relax our whole body 5 minutes, and then we're ready to just go into the heart and focus upon the light or whatever. It's not necessarily that you need to say that to yourself, but that's a longer story. If you're able to disconnect, and you can do so. But let's just start, if you want to just close your eyes. Breathe. Feel your breath. Feel your feet on the ground if you're sitting down. Notice the room you're sitting in. Start slowly to direct your attention inwardly to you. Just gently ask your higher self, or you ask yourself, to give yourself the time now to let go of every thought and just get into your body and expect that this happens. Should any thought come in, you just treat it like an unwanted visit. You notice it, and then you just kindly ask it to leave. Feel your feet. Just notice the sensation in your feet. Put your attention to your feet. Then take your attention to your ankles. Slowly move your attention up through the lower part of your leg. Feel the muscles relax. Go up to your knees. Feel any tension there, and kindly expect them to relax. Move your attention to your thighs. Feel how nice it is for you to be there with your focus and your intention, making your thighs relax. Move your attention to the lower part of your torso, to your behind. To the stomach. Relax your stomach. Move it to your chest area. Feel how your chest relaxes. Now we're at the shoulders. Feel how they sink and drop. Feel your back from the lower part of your back. You slowly move your attention up. Just feel it. Feel your spine, the center of your spine, or just the spine, from the buttocks and all the way up, slowly up through the spine until you reach the neck. You relax your neck. The back side of your neck. Then you feel from your shoulders how your arms start to relax from the upper part of your arms and all the way down the lower part of your arms, your wrists, your hands and your fingers relax. You feel your face. Release any tension around your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And you let your jaw drop. Feel tension in your lips. You let it go around your ears, forehead. Feel the whole head now, the top of the head. The whole head, relax. Try to see now if you can put your attention on your whole body at the same time. Just be in your body. Now would be the time where I would meditate upon the heart. You can now sit back in a position that you can sit in for 30 to 45 minutes. Here you can now ask your consciousness to go into the heart and be in the light. And then sit here and ask yourself the permission to stay in the state where it's just you now and your open heart, nothing else. That any thought that had to pass you in your consciousness is moved out and being guided out as if it was an unexpected guest you peacefully and quietly are asking to leave. You can also write to me at the email address if you find in the text below, and I will find your free heartfulness meditation instructor in your area. You can now shut down for your computer and let the peace and silence, the peace of silence, take on your body, mind, and soul.
There is this angel saying, I'm gonna find my way back home. The secret is love, he said. You've got to lift yourself up, try again. One day you will break through. What you long for will find you. Through all the hard times, I always seem to find the light in your eyes. We fall through.
Don't follow trends, follow your heart.